what we're proposing in the 2019 budget is appropriate. Consequently, and I fully understand and appreciate the arguments about the base rate and the commodity rate with regard to rates, and I fully support the need for a cost of service study, and that will be forthcoming. You know, we can't really adopt the rate increases, I believe, and I agree with Dustin, without a full cost of service study, but that is coming. Therefore, I move the 2019 budget.
I second it.
Excuse me, I have a comment here, folks. So I tend to, when I do my budget at home, I know how much money I'm going to be bringing in. That just seems to be practical. I don't know how we can approve a budget without knowing the revenue. And Nick, to your point, I understand how schools do that, but what you said was they take the prior year's assumption of revenue, meaning the ADA, and roll it forward. That's different than saying, oh, we think we're going to have, 20% greater kids, therefore we're going to use that. Mm-hmm. We could do that same thing. We could use our revenue assumptions from 2018 and roll those forward. The rate increases have not yet been approved by this body, and I was present for most of those the water rates meetings, and I came away with a clear sense that there was not a consensus in those rates meetings. And I really also believe that we need to look at cost cutting, and so before I can approve a rate increase, certainly, I need to make certain that there's some cost cutting. So, I'm in favor of whatever, you guys, people pick the number, but, a 5%, a 7%, a 10%, a 3%, cost cutting across the board going into 2019, and see where that puts us with regard to the rates. If you want to pass this budget, I would pass it with revenue assumptions from 2018 and then let the rates, as that moves forward in the next, 60 days, let that determine the revenue. And then we can adjust the budget based on revenue increase or not. I think it's more prudent. I'm kind of a fiscal conservative. I know it's hard for y'all to believe, but I really am. And I didn't see, well, that's a great thing, never mind. So yeah, I just don't think it's prudent to adopt a budget without proper revenue assumptions. And we can't get those until we get to the water rates. We can't get that until we get the cost of service. So it's like, there's many carts before the horse here. That's how I
the meme.
And it's just difficult for this being our very first day to absorb it all and say it's a good idea.
If I could wait. So, Ricki, I disagree with any revenue forecast. Nobody can predict that their revenue or their income is going to be set. I lost lots of crops. I had big budget set, and lost a crop. Okay,
right.
And I think that applies here too. Sure, there's precedent, but we cannot predict drought today. And I see, having done budgets myself and been on a cash basis forever, a budget is a fluid document. It's a baseline. It's not a set in stone thing that we have to go by, but it's a guideline that can be changed. And I'm fully comfortable today voting to approve the budget with these things in mind. Obviously those issues with water rates are important, and how we get there is important. But I don't think it doesn't affect. Those things are not going to change how the district operates in the near future. And so I would be comfortable voting in favor of adopting the budget today.
With a 5.72% water rate increase.
I just don't know because I'm new, but how do you go about, if we have issues in this budget after we've lived with it for a week, more than 3 days, how do you go about modify it, or is it, do you wait till the end of 2019 and reconcile it like we did on the previous item?
No, we have a number of, so we have a budget amendment mechanism. We use it quite regularly as we're reallocating and moving money as certain things hit the budget as we move forward. So there's a certain amount of authority that's given to the GM. There's a certain amount of authority that's given to the agency, and then the board has ultimate authority. And so if the board chooses, or any member therein chooses to make an adjustment to the budget, then we just need to bring it to the full board, and then the board can adjust that budget. So at any time.
I have one other question. On page 8 of the budget, you've got some revenue assumptions here that I just couldn't quite understand. And so this is another one of these things. I'm sorry, everybody, but...
Don't be sorry. It's your job.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the budget. Okay. So you've got water division revenues as $31,088. It's on page 8. And then you got 2019 budget at water division $41,509. So that's almost a $10 million jump in the water division by itself. And I'm wanting to know, like, where does that? That's a lot of money. Where does that come from? Is that solely from the assumptions from the rate increases?
Was that the transfer in?
No, that wasn't the transfer in. That's
Go to page 11, Director Bush.
okay. Page 8. Not the PowerPoint. The actual.
You want to go to page 11?
I will, but I was hoping. Okay, all right. Just page 8. Thank you. Yeah.
And Director Heck, the big item driving that increase is the transfer in from operating, it's your last line item. That is the approximately $5 million that's
That was $5 million.
coming from the hydroelectric. As you can see, the water, treated water and raw water increases are from 16.1 to 19.9. And that treated water, again, that's the 5.72% increase in the commodity portion, and that's going to the 50% cost at the base rate, going to that over time. You can see the reimbursement transfer fees other. This is the third item from the bottom. It's going to be about 1.4. This was the 4%.
Right, I got that 4%.
Yeah. So those are kind of the big items.
The big one's the $9.8 million at the bottom.
That big one is the $9.8 million, about $10 million.
The transfer in.
Yeah, using hydroelectric reserves. Good question.
It's just internal.
Sometimes it's hard to get a number here, then the other number's over
Yeah.
here, and you go, what?
They're just switching it around.
If time
Nice
and
to
tide
see somebody doing
there are
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
like to have been able to
Yeah.
bring new members through the budget so that it was a little more understanding. I mean, we're
This
out
is
of
going to fly
time.
3 to 2.
And then there's
Yeah.
things moving around. But I think that
But we got them on the record.
regardless of which way
Yeah.
the board goes today, there are an uncounted amount of opportunities to modify the budget and to make corrections and adjust as we're moving forward. So this isn't
I don't believe it. I think it would be hard.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Division 1,
No.
Division 2,
Yes.
Division 4,
No.
Division 5,
Aye.
Division 3.
Aye.
There it is.
There it is.
Okay.